I thought we might just talk about this news that's dropped today through Michael Chamis and Adrian Prezenko on the Sydney Morning Herald. Domestic violence charges against former Penrith winger Taylan May have been withdrawn, opening the door for the former Panthers player, to make an immediate return to the National Rugby League. He had been stood down under the NRL's no-fault policy since the charges were last laid in April, but after the charges were withdrawn on Monday, ARLC chair Peter V'landys confirmed the 23-year-old was cleared to return to the game immediately, Brian. So what do you forecast there? Do we know something within a week?
Yes, definitely. When Peter V'landys says he's cleared to return immediately, everyone's saying the Tigers, because Justin Olam hasn't been medically retired. Tyrone May's there. Tyrone May was quite vocal, saying their goal as a family is to play all together, including Tyrone. But I feel he may go back to the Panthers.
Really?
I feel... No, you don't reckon Ivan...
I don't think after the water under the bridge.
He's been cleared.
Okay. Yeah, well, you could be right.
I'd say there could be a chance he goes there. The obvious one is the Tigers.
But also, too, like if you're him, and if this has been withdrawn, will he be sort of scarred by the Panthers?
Yeah.
I would say the Tigers are the favourites.
Yeah.
Do you think they're the favourites?
I think so.
Yep.
I think so because his brother's there.
Yeah. Who else could be there? Anyway, we'll find out.
Well, the Chooks could deal with him.
Yeah, but then they've only just lost to May, haven't they? Ryan Couchman, very, very sad news for the Dragons. Through the Dragons website, he has unfortunately suffered a torn ACL. Bugger. Gosh. That will end his 2025 season. He was taken from the field with a right knee injury against the Bulldogs on Saturday night, and scans unfortunately have confirmed an ACL injury. He'll undergo surgery and commence the rehabilitation process, which is very, very sad. So he'll be back for the 2026 pre-season. But you know what, Brian? We've seen so many players come back from these sorts of injuries eventually. I know it's hard right now for young Ryan Couchman.
Well, he's young.
He's young.
That helps.
Yep.
Was it one of those ones where it wasn't in a tackle?
They mostly aren't they?
Yeah. That's a boot rot.
You think it's a boot rot?
Has to be. Because I only ever saw them when it was the standing in the tackle, twisting, popping out.
So when you say boot rot, right, do you say...
When they step.
Do you think the boot shifted, or do you think it's...
No, I feel it grabs into the grass too much.
They've been too good, the studs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's got to be some sort of research into it.
I know.
Because we see more and more where there's not a player in sight. Egan Butcher was a perfect example.
James Tedesco happened to him.
Victor Radley happened to him. It's sort of they come off their right or their foot, and their boot, it's so grippy, it reacts with, maybe it's the grass, I don't know. And it just sort of, there's no give. Because the ones I had seen had always been, in the old days, you were standing in the tackle, and a guy you'd twist, and a guy you could or come and hit you in the knee, and then you could hear it pop. But no, the good thing is that he is young, so best of wishes to young Ryan.
Another youngster, Tyrone Munro, he's set for surgery, writes David Riccio in the Daily Telegraph. Scans confirmed the worst fears for Tyrone Munro, with the South Sydney Flyers set to go under the knife on Wednesday. He'd scored 2 tries already. He was sent for scans, visited a specialist today after suffering collarbone injury. But they showed the scans, Brian. He's got a fracture in his right collarbone, requires surgery to repair the injury, and is expected he'll be sidelined for around 6 to 8 weeks. Not 5 to 7 weeks, Brian.
No, it's always the evens.
Yes.
It's always them. Bad luck. He's had bad luck, that poor kid. And he's just starting to grow into his body too. Did you see when he scored that try? The second one?
Yep.
The second one when he was off the mark.
Yep.
And he had no right to score it. So
there's a lot of tries in that boy, isn't there?
So many.
So many.
That's why they put him on. Like he's playing SG ball, and they put him in against the Warriors. I remember that when he made his debut.
Just keep scoring.
Kid.
1300 01 1170. Plenty of callers waiting to have their say. Let's start in Bronte, Brian, your neck of the woods, with Dr. Mark.
Yes, Dr. Mark. Kingfisher biting.
Boys, Happy New Year, boys. Happy New Year.
Happy New
Year.
Look,
some of these injuries, poor old Tyrone, I think he's just a very delicate kid. I did my collarbone, a scrum collapsed on me when I was a student, and I thought I was going to break my neck, and luckily I got my head up and my collarbone, my arm kept going, and I broke it badly. I still feel it occasionally all these years later, but I think he just must be a very delicate kid. His bones must be very soft.
Doc,
it's a very sad business.
Doc, has he got a plate? When you break your collarbone a couple of times, don't they put a plate on there?
They can, because where it knits, it sort of knits over hits unevenly. The bones get on top of each other, so you haven't got much length. So the next time, I suppose I'll put a plate in him.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr.
Which is
Mark,
strong.
I'll tell you, now that you talk about his bones, for example, so I did a DEXA scan years ago, which is all about...
Midnight Runner? No? Okay.
No. I did a DEXA scan, and it talks about sort of fat composition, but also the guy... One-hit wonders.
Yeah, I was just wondering. Sorry, Dr. Mark.
So, with these DEXA scans, Dr. Mark, which you'd be familiar with, the guy who was running it, he said, "Oh, mate, did you ever play rugby league or rugby union?" And he had no idea. And I said, "Oh, I did, in fact. Why do you ask that?" He said, "Because your bones are like, they're so rigid, so firm." I said, "Well, why would that be?" He said, "Because young rugby league players and rugby union players, they get knocked so many times and it continues to heal itself. And in
calcified.
the end, but the problem with Tyrone Munro, he's probably never been caught his whole life to get hit. You know what I mean? His whole life. Would that make sense, Dr. Mark?
No, I think that's right, because what you're talking about, the bone bruising, and so the periosteum, the outside of it gets inflamed, and that lays down bone. Fletch is right. And I think that's right. You're getting that all the time, and you're healing. They're really super strong. But when you fracture a delicate bone like that, it's a bit different, I think. But like your shins, you get kicking the shins all the time, and your shoulders and things like that. I'd imagine the bones would be quite thick, but ultimately stronger, I think. Look, back to ACLs, I think a lot of these injuries, they're overtraining. When you think back to Chang and Billy, they'd have a couple of hours training and the rest of the time in the pub. Whereas I think now they're straining their muscles and ligaments so much on the training field, all the supplements, etc. And I think that that you're not supposed to stretch your muscles and ligaments that much. And I think that's why you're getting these injuries you're talking about. They look innocuous, but it's all the stuff that comes before. That's the problem. I think you're overtraining.
Overload.
And the knee joints that's right. The knee joint's an inherently unstable joint. If you think of your shoulder or your hip, it's a ball and socket joint, whereas the knee joint, the bones just sit on each other. And the ACL and PCL are very unusual. They come from the bottom bone, which is the tibia, go backwards and attach to the femur up top. And they're just not, the strain on them. It's no wonder that they go, unfortunately.
Dr. Mark, do you know anything about peptides? I'm intrigued by these peptides that everyone's taking now. Do you know anything about them?
Are they
I
legal,
think it's a lot of hype.
Really?
It's a lot of hype. All these supplements, I think, I don't know, they say this, but I'm not sure there's any proven trials that they're wonderful, and they're supposed to accelerate healing.
Yes.
They're legal, but I'm not sure. You probably get the same in a steak. I wouldn't know, but
well, they're saying
they're very expensive.
They're saying it's amino acids. So your body produces amino acid. Is that correct?
Well, amino acids are just building blocks of protein. Like when you have proteins in steak or milk or whatever, the proteins get broken down to amino acids.
Okay.
You don't actually, and they used in various parts of the body. So they're very expensive, and you want to waste your money on them, I suppose, good luck to you.
Yeah, I've wasted a lot of money on Instagram when these things come on my post. So I bought a blow-up mattress the other day that blew up once. I got my testosterone cream that I rub into my guts. Nothing's happened. So now I think I'm going down the peptides. Thanks very much, Doc.
Did you behave yourself in LA, Fletch?
I didn't go to LA. I went to Vegas. I didn't go to LA.
Vegas, sorry.
Yeah, Vegas. You been there, Doc?
No, I haven't. I was sort of a bit wary about the place.
Actually, mate. There's a million conferences on there. They love a conference over there, and there was actually a doctors' conference.
Claim.com.
Heavy. And I was with these doctors. They were from where were they from? Georgia.
Oh.
And they were having a great old time. I said, what are you doing now? They're just on the punt and just drinking. Yeah, going to a few lady establishments. Doc, you know what I'm saying? You doctors have got a lot of dirt. You got a lot of dirtbag in you. Been fishing, Doc. What else has been going on?
Well, unfortunately, I went skiing in Japan, and I tore my calf muscle off the bone. I couldn't walk for a month.
Oh,
jeez. In February.
Overtraining. Overtraining.
Oh, no, I just went for a fall. It was my own stupid fault. But I tell you, I couldn't walk for a month. I understand. I don't know how these footballers like Cody do it, because you tend to sort of damage it. It takes a long time to heal. But finally now, after a month, I can walk. I'm going to start running again.
Dr. Mark and Fletch, what's your two bobs on this, lads? So you've got this Ferrari, which is Tommy Turbo, and the game's in the bank. There's 20 minutes to go. If you can save over the course of the year 2 hours or more of Tommy Turbo not being in contact sport rugby league,
2 hours,
wouldn't you do that? over the year.
So you're saying when the game was...
Get him off.
Yeah, get him off.
What do you think?
I agree, but he doesn't. He likes playing.
I know, but people like winning grand finals too. Good on you, Dr. Mark. We'll catch you soon, mate. Appreciate that.
I think that's a good idea. The less you strain his hamstrings, the better.
Absolutely. Good idea. I agree with you agreeing with me. Good on you.
You're still here? We'll see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio. Because if you don't, you're an A grade. But if you do, you're the absolute Mickey.